ยกไปทางนู้นเลย
โอเคไม่เอา
พอพี่น้องครับ
Okay, welcome everyone to our 7-rai plot of land. As you can see, I'm self-recording now, and come prepared today with my hat, some sunglasses. We are doing some weed whacking, and also a mask because of sometimes weed whacking and the dust and allergies and things. So not for the sake of COVID, but just for the sake of the dust and all that sort of thing. So we're at the 7-rai right now, and I was just talking a little bit about the tree behind us there. I think it's an avocado, and below it is a Mexican lilac tree as well. And then you can see the neighbor's been renting this land apparently. He's been renting it for his own use as well. So anyhow, we are here at the land. We've just cleared out the roadway here, and now I'm trying to figure out what the family wants to do next. I think we're going to be using some poles to like mark out more clearly the boundary lines. So we had the surveyor here in the last video, and now we have come back and we're going to be making it more clear about those boundary lines, just to make it clear that we can see it and maybe others can see it as well. So that's kind of the next step. Official roadway, but I don't think anyone will be using it except for us. And it ends right here, by the way. This is where it ends. So I could potentially seeing a house being put in this kind of area where right now the neighbor is growing some vegetables. So this is a little trough that they built. Okay, one thing kind of interesting is that I was actually looking to do a little permaculture, sort of like downgrading. And so what I could do is actually make a trough in here and put the soil and some plants on the other side. And they've actually already started to do that. If you can tell, they dig this little trench here. They're hoping to collect water in this area. Right now it's December, it's the end of the rainy season, so it's definitely not wet. But it's actually kind of interesting because they started to do something like that already. Okay, we're back here. I'm at home now, and I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about swales and how to plant the swales. And I actually found this video series quite helpful, talking about how are we supposed to plant swales and what is the purpose of it to recharge the groundwater on site. So real quick, this video is talking probably more about a little more extreme slope, and our property is definitely less slope than this, but it is helpful, and I thought it might be helpful if you're interested as well.
Assisted by the tree roots. Trees are essential as components of swale systems. So most of the time our swales on slope, they're a mound excavated out from the trench to the mound, and our topsoil is increased at the mound and it's loose. And most of the time we're planting trees up on the mound here and just below. In deserts we may plant inside because we've got less rainfall and it's hard to drown the trees in the desert. So you may move inside, but the infiltration of water is at right angle to contour and it plumes away as it sits here and then soaks in. We also plant the back slope, often leguminous trees on the back slope here, fixing nitrogen. And the roots here help the absorption.
Okay, I hope that video was helpful. Definitely was helpful for me in understanding more about swales and some real practical application. And in the next video here, I'm going to be talking about biochar, and I've really considered this as something I should do as an additive to the soil as well. It could be also an option for making a little extra income, and we'll talk about that more here in just a moment. The only thing that's missing is planting the slope there with some valuable either fruit trees or something that will be able to use the water more frequently. The other thing I've been considering is doing some biochar. So you could do some biochar burning here and then try to bring up the quality of the soil.
All right, so now we're gonna share with you guys what is biochar, because some of you guys may be familiar with it and some of you guys may not be. And what is biochar? It's this stuff right here. This is biochar. It's basically kind of charcoal. Now, it's not the same kind of charcoal that you get the charcoal briquette that you'd buy, you know, and at the store to like fire up your barbecue. This is a really purified kind and special kind of carbon that's created in a certain way. And why this is used is actually puts nutrients back in the soil, but also provides a home for the microbiologics in the soil, so the bacteria and the fungi. So yeah. Here to talk about the biochar today. This is basically rough biochar before it's been grounded or processed, as it literally came out of the system right next to me.
So as you can see, it's all just old farmland. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm considering and how we could incorporate that. And right now my concept is that these two rye at the front would be kind of more of my experiment area. As you can tell already, it's probably where we put a house and maybe like kind of just like a more simple garden, or just rejuvenating the land. As you can see, where do most people congregate? They're congregating down in the shade. Down there is a lot cooler. Of course, during Thailand here, anywhere that there's shade is a good place to be. And there's a canal down there too. And apparently there's the one tree down there that they use the fruit for sometime. So it's kind of like right away, that's where the kids go, that's where the women and children go, that's where we go to rest, that's where we go to relax. So the pond eventually will go way in the back there, which you can't see right now. But it's kind of telling, where do people go? Well, that's where people want to hang out. It's a cool place to be. So that's kind of a good indicator of a good place to spend more time. Okay, as you can see here in our diagram, we have the 7 rye with kind of the road in the front here going into our main drive, which is the roadway. And I want you to take a look at, I would like to keep the road where it is, right? So it's quite useful for us here. And that actually separates us and our neighbor property. That's the neighbor here. And this is also neighbor property as well. And so if you take a look at where everyone is congregating, seems to be that most people are spending their time in the shade down here in the purple. And that's kind of a good indicator of a good place to put maybe a sala in the shade. And that might be something that we do, is put a little rest area in there so people can have a place to hang out. If you continue to go east, you can see the proposed area for our about 1 rye pond, right? So we're taking a look at getting that dug in the next year here. And this would be about 1 rye approximately for this pond as well. And I'm sure it'd have some tiers. And if you also take a look even east of that, as you start to see the area marked in red here, that ends up being the best views of the property. So we are fairly close to the mountains, the mountain range there, and the best view on the property ends up being basically in this area. Okay, so I'd like to preserve that view if possible, and even maybe add additional sala in the back corner here. That might be kind of a nice place to overlook both our property and the mountain as well. So you can see here marked in orange is our neighbor. So this is our neighbor's property as well. They actually also own this gray area. And while we were here later on in the video, I'll be showing you a little bit more about that development. When we went to go meet them, they said that they're interested in selling this right now at about 200,000 baht, which is a bit expensive, but we'll definitely consider it in the future. And as you can see, also I have the swale in green, and with the swale here, this is where we would like to put some fruit trees both on the front side and along the back side as well, and we'll see how that develops. And finally, if you notice that both of the areas in brown, these are areas where we kind of intend to put the parents, Thai parents' small home, and that will be actually in the next video. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And in this area in the light brown, this is kind of the proposed area right now for the large family home. And that's something that I've been kind of working on developing, designing, redesigning, and we'll see how that goes as well. So ideally, actually, if I could kind of paint my own picture, I would actually put this Thai small home, I would actually put it in this area as well. There's more shade here. It's kind of it'd be nice to leave this area open for farming, right? That would be really great to leave this open for farming if possible. But I do understand that in the current situation, we don't own this land, and therefore it's not an option. Also looking ahead towards the front 2 rai, my wife and I's area as well, I've been kind of working on some different layouts for that, and that'll come in a future video as well. So I just wanted to give you a little update about some developments and kind of some concept drawings right now for this property.
ยางรถมาขอบนะ
อันนี้ให้หนึ่งตรงดู
ตรงกระแตกคือเก่านี่
ไม่ใช่
คือหาผ้าอย่างกระไดนี่มาผ้าเก่า
กูเอาให้ทางที่แหน่ไปไหนเป็ดรอดจาก
ๆเดี๋ยวจึงโยกกระไดหรอก
มาเล่นในร้อนๆ
เดี๋ยว